What's up, gang? Matt from FoxHaven Roofing here in South Florida. I want to make a video about the true cost of a roof replacement. And I can understand why putting a new roof on your house isn't exactly, to some people anyhow, the most exciting project. It's not something you want to go spend money on. Maybe you want to, do a weekend on the boat or get a new car or whatever it is. But here, especially here in South Florida, putting off replacing your roof could end up costing you hundreds and even oftentimes thousands and thousands of dollars because of the conditions that we have here in South Florida. When we're considering replacing our roof, if we have somebody come out to perform an inspection, or maybe you saw a leak, a lot of times what we do is actually recommend roof replacement if we're seeing things on these inspections that are making us think it might be time. And now you as the homeowner, you might not have seen any water inside of your house except for one little spot, so you might think, this roofer is just trying to sell me something, but that's not the truth. The truth of the matter is roof leak, by the time you see it in your house, has probably been going on for a really long time. It's very rare that a roof leak happens and you just see damage inside right away. And the reason for this is your roof is going to fail from the perimeter of your house first. At the perimeter of your house, you have an overhang where your soffits and your eaves are. And that's where our roof is going to fail first, at that perimeter. So if we have a leak show up at the perimeter of the roof, we might have a leak outside in the soffit for weeks, even months, in some cases a whole year or more before it gets into the house. But when it does, that little bit of water that's been sitting on top of that sheathing and slowly making its way further and further up your roof, it's now making its way into the attic, damaging your insulation, and oftentimes even causing some mold problems inside of your house. And then once the interior damage has happened, all that rooftop damage is already there. And us as professionals, we know that if it did make it past all of that overhang outside into the roof, we have more than just a little spot repair to do up on the roof. We likely have several sheets of plywood that need to be replaced, tearing into your underlayment. So not only are the repairs costly, but if it's that bad in one area on your roof's going to fail generally around the same time. So it's probably that bad in a number of areas on your roof. Now, where this reflects on the cost of your roof replacement is just because that one area failed and we don't see water inside anywhere else, maybe that's a $3,500 roof repair. If you have 6 or 7 spots around your house that aren't inside quite yet, but the leaks are happening, we can see the signs of them from the perimeter, what ends up happening is the same thing that happened with that big repair you just paid for, but all over the place. So now these 4 or 5 sheets of plywood and all this roof metal that had to get torn out for the repair cost in the front gets passed to when you actually do your roof replacement. So if your insurance company steps in and says, hey, it's time to replace your roof, it's getting too old, or maybe you are now seeing the signs of leaks inside the house all over the place, instead of taking the advice of your roof expert who came out and said, hey, you're having some failing issues all over here, you've now extended the issues that you were having sometimes 2, 3, even 5 years. So the wood rot on your roof is excessive. Again, like I said, it could be hundreds of dollars, and I would not be surprised to say more often than not, it's in the thousands of dollars when we do a roof replacement. And the truth is, the maintenance wasn't done throughout the roof's life, and probably at some point, someone recommended a roof replacement, and the homeowner said, no, not this year, we're going to Aruba. And now, instead of maybe pushing Aruba for 2 years, you have a $10,000 wood rot bill that you have to deal with. When you are going to go ahead and replace your roof, longevity is something you should keep in mind, okay? The true cost of your roof replacement is not just what you pay today for your new roof, it's how long that new roof is going to continue to protect your home without costing you money. So we have metal roof coverings, which are going to allow for the best waterproofing and the longest term life. After that, I would probably say concrete roof tile is going to be your next best step. You're going to want to look at doing that with some additional protections. You can ask your roofer about it, whether it be 2 layers of underlayment, additional layers at the highly vulnerable areas, your valleys, your flashings, your perimeter. Like I said, it fails at the perimeter first. Why not pay a little extra up front to make sure that the perimeter is going to be protected from failure? Those kinds of things. And maintenance throughout its life, 10, 12, 15, 17, 20 years, have a roofer out to take a look at it. Last one, going to be most cost-effective up front, but also going to last, I would say the shortest term out of most common roof systems here in Florida would be a shingle roof. The sun and the wind and the rain are going to age the shingles at a pretty quick rate. So where your metal roof could last you 50, 60 plus years, your shingle roof will likely need to be replaced after about 15, best case 20 years. So you could be on 3 shingle roofs by the time you're finished with that first standing seam metal roof. Okay, furthermore, when shopping for your new roof, there is the cheap estimate trap that you should try with all your might to avoid. You want a contractor who's coming out showing you where your problem areas are, explaining to you what the cost of addressing those problem areas is during the roof quote, instead of just hitting you on the back end with all of these change orders. Change orders are very common in roofing. We at FoxHaven try our best to mitigate the change orders by, including X amount of sheets of plywood where we think you may have problems. It's impossible to see through the roof, but you want somebody who's leading with their best foot forward, attempting to be honest with you, because again, we're talking about mistakes that could cost you a fortune, and that is one of them. A roofer who you've already contracted with owns lien rights in the state of Florida on your home if he is not paid in full upon completion, and that is regardless of whether or not you agree with his change order bill. So he can actually go ahead and lien your home if you don't pay the change orders that he presents to you, usually at the end of the job. Again, these are all just things that I think should be considered when talking about the true cost of roof replacement on your home, especially when we're talking about here in Florida. Thanks for checking us out this week. We'll catch you again soon.